Monday evening, Oscar Pistorius walked out of a Pretoria prison almost a full day ahead of schedule.
Oscar Pistorius was placed under correctional supervision after 7:30 last night on the 19th.
He was taken to his uncle's house where he will spend the remainder of his 5-year sentence. Pistorius served less than a year in prison, and the decision to release him under house arrest has received a mixed response.
It's a good thing because we've been worrying about him, but then it's so good to hear that he's out.
We want to know why he was released, because he killed a woman. That's the problem, why he's allowed to go home when he has killed a person.
Oscar Pistorius was best known as a 400-metre sprinter who took part in both the London Olympics and Paralympics. A double-leg amputee, his carbon fibre prosthetic legs earned him the nickname Blade Runner. But in October last year, the 28-year-old was found guilty of manslaughter after shooting and killing girlfriend Reva Steenkamp. Prosecutors are still fighting to have his conviction upgraded to murder, but under South African law, a non-violent prisoner only needs to serve a sixth of their sentence in prison.
Whatever that they do, they have to take into account the interests of all parties concerned, including the victims, the offender himself or herself, as well as the Department of Correctional Services.
He'll only be allowed to go grocery shopping or to church, and a return to athletics looks unlikely. But for now, Pistorius is just enjoying a little extra freedom. Patrick Dybell, TRT World.
Well, Moxalisi Masango is outside Pistorius' uncle's house and joins us live from Pretoria. Moxalisi, the Pistorius family has released a statement. What's been said?
Well, Annalise, the family spokesperson, literally came out about 30 minutes ago, to a media scrum just behind me, as you can see at this point in time. She came out to say that they're happy to welcome Pistorius. They're happy to reintegrate him back into the family. And they also came out to say that, let's not really forget what he had really done, what his actions, the consequences of his actions, saying that even the uncle had actually been supporting, the term that he had served behind bars, to say that Pistorius is now a person that is ready to be integrated back into society. But of course, we as journalists raised certain questions as to how is that going to be done, seeing that there is still another court battle that is looming, where we saw how the state prosecutor is actually, moving the matter further to the Supreme Court of Appeal to try and have Oscar Pistorius down for murder instead of that lesser charge of culpable homicide that Pistorius was behind bars for.
5 years under house arrest. What's next for Pistorius?
Well, it's not really clear where the road heads for the Paralympian, or the Blade Runner as he was affectionately known by most South Africans. But at this point in time, it seems like the family itself has been pushing towards Pistorius having to reflect on what happened on that fateful night, as well as to also reflect on what has been happening for the past couple of months that he spent behind bars at the Mampuru Correctional Facility in Pretoria. They said that he had underwent certain tasks behind bars that included, of course, an anger management course, which is why they said that he was now, a better person. He was now a person that would, be successfully integrated into society. So right now, it seems like he will be spending most of his days indoors. This time, he says he will be using to reflect. And of course, there is no, secret, and there's no shying away from the fact that Oscar Pistorius will never, of course, be back to that Oscar brand that was a symbol of hope for most people, that symbol of hope which stood for most people out there. It is no secret that he will never actually be able to go back to that, because his brand has now been tainted.
Okay, Moxalisi Masango in Pretoria, thank you.